All right, so it's been a little while since we made a song together. I am in a new space, as you can see, which there will be a studio tour for very soon. But I thought it would be fun to kind of break out of my indie mold, I guess, that I'm in. And I'm really just craving getting into new genres and exploring new territories. So the first step that we're gonna take to get out of that territory is going to be doing something sort of alternative pop, very similar to like Band Camino or Somber. I also wanted just to catch up with you. How's it going? How you been? I also wanted to mention I've been having a lot of conversations with other creators and people that I've looked up to for a really long time. So it's really surreal to get to meet these people. And I just feel very inspired and I just want to get better at what I do. I think for a while I was kind of sitting comfortably there. So today I really want to break the mold and chase mastery because that's what this channel is about, right? So let's go ahead and get into Logic. I want to show you guys the idea that I had to start off with, and let's make a song. Real quick, before we get into making music, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video for sending over the AIAIAI TMA2s. One of the main reasons that I really wanted to try out these headphones is because they come with this wireless receiver and it creates a near zero latency listening experience. Meaning I can pop these on, go walk over to the drums. I can walk anywhere in the studio. I mean, I've even tested these walking to the other side of my house, and I can still hear everything, not only perfectly with near lossless audio, but I can actually play something and not have a cord wrapped around me. Also to mention, they're super comfortable. I mean, look at all that padding there. How can it not be comfortable, right? So I've been using these for the past few weeks now just to break them in and get used to them. And I thought I'd have at least a little bit of a critique with these. But honestly, for what I do and for what I need, they are perfect for either everyday listening or a studio environment. And everything about these just feels really nice. I've dealt with other wireless headphones in the past, and one of my biggest gripes is the battery life. I am so tired of having to charge things constantly. Like I've charged these once in the past few weeks that I've gotten them, and they have held their battery life. So if you want to check out the TMA2 studios for yourself, there will be a link in the description. Thank you so much again, AIAIAI, for fulfilling a long-term dream of mine to be able to use some of these. All right, so I started working on the structure yesterday. Usually I like to do these videos where I'm starting completely from scratch, but as I was wrapping up work yesterday, I just felt super inspired and just started getting ideas out. And I was like, oh, this would be really good for a video tomorrow, I think. So this was kind of the original idea that I started with, and it sounds like this. Feel my head spin around. And then I worked on the structure as well. When I work on my structure, I tend to pick like an electric piano just to get the general chords down and essentially map out the entire song. So this isn't like what the song is going to sound like, but it's just kind of anchor points for me and just have a general chord structure. I recommend doing this if you are stuck in 8-bar loops, to just start with building out the entire structure of the song first. And this is just a lot of guessing. I mean, I didn't like do anything super crazy here. And I'm going to end up redoing all of these MIDI drums as well, because this is just a bunch of copy and paste stuff. But essentially, I'm going to have my intro, then I'm going to have my verse here. I have this pre-chorus, and then into the chorus, I thought it'd be really cool to do something in halftime. So it sounds like this. And then back into full time. I want the song to not really drag on. I want it to be short. I want it to be engaging. And I just want it to be fun. But where I left off essentially is the solo part. And I was really not sure of where to go to this. So this is where we're going to pick up. So I was thinking maybe of like a quarter time just to like really drag it out and make this as dramatic as possible for the solo. So maybe something like this. And then maybe it drops out here for the chorus. Drop. At the end, just keep up with that energy. Maybe do some like really sharp hits with it. Ooh, that'd be cool. Not the exact thing I wanted to do there, but I just kind of want to move on with the structure. The idea is there. And then yesterday when I was playing around with the structure, I opened up this other drum sound, and this is from Stephen Slate Drums 5. I just chose a couple pieces that I thought would really thicken up the sound. But man, listen to these when they are layered in here. So this is something like the chorus without this layer. Sounds good, but with these layers, it just really thickens up the sound. But let's go ahead in here now. I'm gonna add just a couple guitars. I don't wanna do too many because I want there to be a good groove between the guitar, bass, and drums. Since the guitar in this is like really prominent, I'm just gonna add a couple layers there because that playing pattern is pretty specific. I'm not really gonna fixate on tone just yet. It's mainly gonna be about the playing right now. I have this tuned in a half step down. So I think it would sound better in half step. So let me go ahead and just adjust all of these MIDI notes by 1. All right, now let's try it. All right, let's try that again. I'm not paying attention at all. So I'm sort of having a hard time playing this all the way through. I don't know why. It's like a lot of weird chord shapes, I guess. So just to make this a little easier, I might just take this kind of part by part. Yeah, like that last part is so sloppy, man. All right, then I'll punch in here. And I think I should just play that straight through. Oh, I gotta nail that part. Otherwise, it is going to crumble if I don't nail that. Let's mute the electric piano because I think it's just getting in the way a little bit. All right, so we got our main guitar. I want to do another guitar, except move it to the neck pickup, just to give it a little more thickness, especially in the stereo field. So let's try this all over again. I think I might be the worst guitar player ever, maybe? Okay, I think that is a good starting point. Obviously, I'm going to add a bunch of more guitars to really thicken up that space. And then there's a couple little nuances I did with the guitar, especially in the second verse here. All right, let's move on to bass now. And as far as tone, I definitely want a pretty gritty tone. So I'm just going to go in here and see what presets I can start with. That one sounds pretty legit. Let's start with that. Wow, I messed that one up. I'm feeling myself make a lot of really silly mistakes. It's because I'm wanting this to be really good, obviously, and I'm putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself. So if I keep making these stupid, cheap mistakes, I'm just going to put it down for a second, go outside, get some fresh air, because yeah, I don't want to keep making these very silly mistakes here. Wow, my timing is so bad. I'm just now realizing with the guitars how bad my timing really is. Oh, that's frustrating. I can do better. Man. All right, that feels pretty good for a bass performance. I feel like my guitars are also there. So what I'm gonna do now is go back into the drum production and just shape these drums and play these drums according to these rhythmic parts. And something else that I wanted to mention too, I just recently released a MIDI drum production workshop, and I tried to fit literally everything that I know about producing MIDI drums. So if you wanted to check that out, which if you are struggling with MIDI drum production, I definitely recommend that you should. I've gotten pretty good feedback on it so far. I take a good pride in it, but that will be in the description as well. So I think for the most part, these parts are fine. I think when we get into like the verse is where I want to kind of level up a little bit. And then I'm going to redo this chorus here just because I think I can get it dynamically better. My timing is off slightly, but that's okay because we have the power of quantizing. And for these drum sounds as well, I have a custom kit that I put together in Addictive Drums. And for the library, I'm using the Fairfax. I started out with the big overhead and room kit, and then through multi-output, I separated that into all these other channels, which some channels are processed, some aren't. But I thought it was a pretty good overall kit sound. And I'm gonna redo this whole halftime part here. Well, quarter time, I guess. Man. God, I am getting so frustrated right now. I cannot hear that part on the metronome for the life of me. I think that was better. I don't know. Oh my God. Could I just write the parts in? Absolutely, but I don't want to do that. All right, how about I do this? How about I do the first part in the quarter time and I'll pick it up back to full time, and I won't try to play it all the way through. I'm just going to do it one part at a time, as much as I don't want to do that. That sounds good. If I can just quantize that. All right, I just want to change these last hits here because I'm just not a big fan of them. And then I'm just going to write the fill in. Okay, great. Awesome. Love it. I don't think I've been that frustrated with the drum part in a really long time. All right, so now I'm just going to layer essentially the Steven Slate drums now under the Addictive Drums. All right, and something else I'm going to do with these drums, when I first sculpted out the idea of the song, I had this band pass essentially over the drums just to remove the highs, remove the lows, and get this sound here. So I'm going to bounce that in place real quick, and that's going to be my lo-fi drum intro. All right, these drums sound pretty big. I think they're pretty good there. Let's move now back to guitars. Now that we have a pretty solid rhythm, I think I am going to end up redoing all of these clean guitars because I'm just really, really not happy with them. But before that, I want to just have fun, loosen up, and kind of have a layup with it. And I'm going to focus on just the distorted parts because I know that those are going to be easier to play. They're going to start gearing me back into a good mood because I'm a little grumpy right now making this. I think I'm definitely putting too much pressure on myself because I know I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. And guys, that could be really frustrating. I'm going to let you guys in on one of the funniest jokes you'll probably hear today. So, this whole video, things have been not going well. We can all universally agree on that, right? And I literally just said, I'm going to use the guitars as the layup and get a better feeling and put myself in a better mood, right? And what happened? The whole recording was paused. So I literally worked myself back into a better mood and felt like I had this beautiful thing on camera and none of it was recorded. So then I realized that and I'm back in a bad mood. So I went outside with my wife. Oh yeah, my wife works from home now. That's why I moved offices. I totally forgot to mention that. This is kind of like therapy right now. This is kind of cool. But thank God that she's home, dude. She heard me getting frustrated and she came in here and checked in on me. And she's like, let's just go outside. Let's get some sunshine. Man, thank God for that woman. I don't know what I would do without her. I was really, really worried about the noise that I would make and how me being at home, being a creative, being loud with music would affect her now working from home too. And she has constantly reassured me that like it doesn't bother her at all. And she's been so cool and supportive. But therapy sesh is over, my friends. I am going to redo the guitars. Because damn it, I want to put myself back in that better mood and I had some cool things to show you guys. If I'm being honest too, I was going to kind of like fake it and just hide the guitar tracks and come back and be like, oh, so maybe I can do this. But I'm like, nah. So let's get back into it. So I found this preset in Logic called the American Stat Crunch. And I just kind of dialed back a lot of the heaviness to it because it was like way too much, but it was kind of in the right direction. I really want that Daphne blue tone. So this is the sound essentially. So let's go ahead and record this guitar. Or should I hit on the first note there? No, that's too much. I'm in a good mood now. I'm back in a good mood. Guys, we're so back. All right, so I got all of the main sort of chorus guitars recorded. Then I have these two other guitars, which are the same preset, just adjusted a lot. And then I put a pitch shifter and mixed it in, just doing an octave below. And then on the amp as well, I backed off the microphone and just rolled up a lot of the bass, pulled back the treble. And this is going to be like an outside texture. This is just going to be a thickener. All right, so this is without those octave guitars. So it sounds big, sounds full. But with them, there's still signal to clean up there. I think there's definitely a little too much low in there, but I'm really, really happy with where we have this right now. So here's something I'm having a hard time with. That ending, that little, because like I don't want too many of those in there because it's going to start to like muddy up the purpose of it. And it's just going to start sounding like a bunch of noise. So maybe I'll just try it as just hitting along with the drums and letting those other guitars have the space to be able to do those slides because those sound like they're in unison. All right, now I'm gonna add some kind of like higher guitar that's kind of just like singing over top of everything. That's cool. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got something there. I'm not worried about tone right now, but I am gonna add a little bit of tape delay on there. Oh, that's way out of tune, isn't it? I gotta come in with the slide. That would sound a lot smoother. Oh, man. Okay, we'll get to this little part because I know what I want to do. But that little run, that was so fun. How did I do that? Let's go. That's freaking cool, dude. If I can get that to sound right, it would be so clutch. Oh, one more time. All right, here we go. I can do it. This sounds a lot more pop punk like Joyce Manor right now. I'm planning on adding a lot of like synths and other elements to make it feel more back into the alternative pop area, especially when we get to the vocals. Because if you get someone that can just do like some gnarly drunken vocals over this, like, yeah, you got a Joyce Manor song. Kind of sounds like a whammy pedal a little bit. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna add a solo real quick. And then after the solo, I'm gonna switch guitars and try something different for the cleaner parts. Probably use like another Telecaster, like a single coil. So stupid. Almost there. All right, I think that's the solo. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's swap guitars. All right, I think with these two guitars, I'm actually gonna treat them a little differently. I'm actually gonna track stack them together and then just make them pretty lo-fi. Just the same thing that I'm doing to the drums, essentially. Yep. And then I'm gonna have another sort of cleanish guitar because I really want that. To really shine through. What if we put a magic switch on these guitars? But it's the solution. I'm sorry. One thing I will say, again, going back to these headphones, these are kind of the first like really balanced headphones that I've ever had. I've never really enjoyed creating in headphones, but it feels good. It doesn't feel like I'm isolated in this song. All right, let's move on from guitars for a little bit. And I'm gonna move on to synths now. All right, so my first instinct with synth is to fill a space underneath the guitars, right? Especially in this beginning section here. It just feels a little empty in sort of the maybe higher mid-range. But I do know that I want a synth to kind of just hold a pad-like structure in the back. Let's go into labs and just see what kind of like ambient textures I could put within this. I think something maybe with a little movement to it. That sounds kind of cool, but it's definitely a lot. So let's trim that out. Let's just see what it sounds like layered under. You'll never believe what happened again. I started recording synths and I didn't get too far, but I wasn't recording again. I feel like I really need to make all these mistakes. Something telling me that I need to learn a lesson. So I don't think I really like the synths that I added. Over this lo-fi part, this is what I have. It's not bad, but I want something a little more granular than that. I think for the chorus, I'm just going to use the retro synth. I feel pretty comfortable with building stuff into here and making it feel big enough, I guess. Let's just play around with it and see what we can do. I like that a lot. And then we can automate and play with that filter a little too. Yeah, that's really cool. That's got the motion that I've been wanting. All right, I think that's good for synth for now. I'm sure that there's some like smaller ear candy that I'll add in a little bit. But one thing that's definitely throwing me off is a better sense of rhythm in the chorus. And one way that I'm gonna try to get that better sense of rhythm is to add a tambourine. All right, I think I'm gonna just pause here. I think my mind needs a break. I'm making so many like small mistakes and it's because my mind is not in the right place. So I'm gonna go have lunch. I'm gonna go hang out a little bit and I will see you here in a minute. All right, so I am back from lunch. I had a turkey sandwich, thanks for asking. And when I came back, I just felt lost. I like didn't know really where to go. So I just did a really light mix of this. Did some bus processing for the percussion, just cleaned up a lot of the low end for the guitars. And man, this sounds a lot better than I thought it did. And just kind of reflecting back on that, I mean, I really let the little things get in the way of recognizing that, hey, this sounds really good and this is really fun. I really held a high standard for what I was going to do with this creative session. Maybe that's just my ego, I don't know. But I think I was a little just too hard on myself because of the constant smaller mistakes.
And when you go through that, because you watching this, who probably experiences the same things that I do, we really have to force ourselves to step away and to do something that completely takes our mind off of the project. When my production students are sort of going through that as well, like if they're having a tough time with the lesson or homework or whatever it may be, my first suggestion isn't to keep hammering it out. It is to take a break and to give yourself time. I am not above that same rule. So it took some time. Like I said, did a light mix of this, came back to it. I think there are a couple opportunities for like smaller ear candy or transitions, but I really want to work on the vocals. And the first thing that I have to do for the vocals is to write the song. I totally forgot to write the lyrics. I have sort of an idea where I want to go. So let's just sit here, really hammer it out, and let's get this song done because I'm excited. All right, so let's just get in there, record some vocals. I'm going to kind of just write as I go. I think this is going to be a song that I kind of discover along the way. It has that vibe.
My head is spinning around, living up in the clouds, and it's not coming down. Maybe I need some more sleep, maybe some vitamin D, maybe some therapy. And it's not coming down, coming down. Maybe I need some. It's not working like it should when I'm feeling not too good.
All right, so song is written. I think the outline is in a really good place, and I feel good about these lyrics, for the most part at least. I'm a little iffy about the second verse because it could feel really corny, all right? But I'm okay with that because I think the lyrics serve the song. So now that I have the outline, I'm gonna focus more on a solid vocal performance. So let's give it a shot.
My head is spinning around, living up in the clouds, and it's not coming down. Maybe I need some more sleep, maybe some vitamin D, maybe some therapy. Now it's been forever since I've written you a letter, and I start to overthink as I'm moving toward the brink of a meltdown, no a breakdown, maybe something completely new. And my chest is getting tighter, I don't know what I'm to do. It's not working like it should when I'm feeling not too good.
All right, I went super quiet just to focus on what I was doing. And I think I have some really interesting vocal production. I think it stands out and fits the track really well. I just have to prep for the chorus. It's like the literal top of my vocal register. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but it'll be the last thing that we need to do. I think the song sounds really, really full. So let's just see what we can do.
I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling that I've lost control. I think I need it, yeah, I think I need it. I think I'm needing you to save my soul. Good. I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling that I've lost control. I think I need it, yeah, I think I need it. I think I'm needing you to save my soul.
I'm pretty sure that was the last vocal. Wow, that was really hard. I did not enjoy singing that at all, in case you were wondering. It was very challenging, and yeah, I feel weird just singing that loud because my wife is home. So I'm just kind of in my office shouting. But I think the song is done, guys. I'm going to do a quick mix and then we're going to take a listen to it. I really enjoyed this. I know it was a pain in the ass to make with all the small, really cheap mistakes that I've made with this process. I haven't really made a song in a while. Like I usually make at least a few songs a week. And the last few weeks, I've really been focusing on the business side of things and haven't really got the chance to just sit down and create something. So I feel a little out of rhythm, but I'm glad I got back into it with one of like the hardest things that I could do. So like I said, I'm going to mix this and then we're going to take a listen. All right, the song is done. It actually wrapped up a lot quicker than I had anticipated it. I felt really insecure the whole time doing this, and that tells me good. I needed that insecurity to help me push out something that I think ended up being pretty darn good. I think this is definitely one of the best songs that I've made on this channel, but I really, really dig the production. It feels big, it feels clear, but let's take a listen to it. So this track is called Save My Soul.
My head is spinning around, living up in the clouds, and it's not coming down. Maybe I need some more sleep, maybe some vitamin D, maybe some therapy. It's not working like it should when I'm feeling not too good. I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling that I've lost control. I think I'm needing, yeah, I think I'm needing, I think I'm needing you to save my soul. Now it's been forever since I've written you a letter, and I start to overthink as I'm moving toward the brink of a meltdown or a breakdown, maybe something completely new. And my chest is getting tighter, I don't know what I'm to do. It's not working like it should when I'm feeling not too good. I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling, I've got the feeling that I've lost control. I think I'm needing, yeah, I think I'm needing, I think I'm needing you to save my soul. I think I'm needing, yeah, I think I'm needing, I think I'm needing you to save my soul.
Did I just write the song of the summer? Man, I'm really feeling good about the end result. I mentioned in the beginning of the video how obsessed I felt lately about chasing mastery and getting better and obsessing over my craft. And that's a slippery slope sometimes, because the more obsessive you become of something, the harder the fall can be. And just because we don't have that obsession doesn't mean that we care. It's a fine line to balance. And I feel like through this whole process, there was a little bit of an imbalance and I felt kind of fragile at times. But I think really focusing and getting my shit together made for a really good end result. But I hope that you enjoyed watching this. Thank you so much again, AIAIAI, for sponsoring this video and sending over the TMA2s. Having these headphones, and I'm not just saying this because, you know, it's a sponsor. Like, I'm being dead legit that I actually enjoy creating with headphones now. So if you want to pick up your own TMA2s, link is in the description. And one last thing that I want to mention, I just recently opened more spots for my coaching program. It is a 12-week music production bootcamp where essentially each week we are tackling a different element of the song so we can be really focused about how we build something up. For a long time, I felt really stuck with my music production, and it wasn't until I started speaking with, you know, people I looked up to and started having conversations with folks that I considered mentors. That's when I really started to level up, because, you know, a pro showed me, hey, it's not actually that hard to make something good. It just takes a very dedicated structure. It takes dedicated listening, and it takes ridiculous consistency. So if you want to level up your production and have a mentor along the way, see the link in the description as well to apply to the program. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.